The night sky turned an eerie shade of purple as strange lights flickered across the horizon. Lisa Mason gripped her laser rifle tighter and tried to steady her breathing. The Northern Defense Base had been quiet for weeks, so quiet that some soldiers had begun to hope the war was ending. But Lisa knew better. The Xeraxians never gave up. They had come from the stars 3 years ago with technology humans could only dream about. Their tall blue bodies and 4 arms made them look almost magical. But there was nothing magical about the destruction they brought. Lisa had joined Earth Defense Force after losing her hometown in the first wave of attacks. She was smaller than most soldiers, but what she lacked in size she made up for in speed and cleverness. Her commander often said she had the best instincts in the unit, which was why she was on guard duty when everyone else was sleeping. The purple lights grew brighter. A low humming filled the air. Lisa activated her comm unit to sound the alarm, but only static answered her. The aliens were blocking communications. She had to warn the others. Lisa ran toward the barracks, but before she could reach them, a blinding flash knocked her off her feet. When she could see again, massive ships hovered above the base. Their sleek silver hulls reflected the fires that had already started below. Soldiers rushed from their beds, weapons ready, but the Xeraxian weapons cut through them easily. Lisa ducked behind a fallen wall and watched, in horror, as her friends fell. She wanted to help them, but knew it would be suicide. Instead, she slipped into a drainage tunnel that led away from the base. It was the coward's way out, but someone had to survive to warn the other bases. Lisa crawled through the narrow tunnel for what felt like hours. Her uniform was caked with mud, her hands bleeding from sharp rocks, but she kept moving. Finally, she emerged in a forest several miles from the base. She could still see smoke rising in the distance, still hear the strange, high-pitched sounds of the alien weapons. She needed to find shelter before dawn, when the Xeraxians would surely search for survivors. The forest was dense with tall pine trees, their branches heavy with snow. Lisa spotted a small cave partly hidden by fallen logs. Perfect. She crawled inside, checking carefully for animals before collapsing on the cold ground. She was safe for now. But for how long? Lisa must have fallen asleep, because she woke to strange sounds outside the cave. Her hand immediately went to her rifle as she peered through a small gap in the logs. What she saw made her blood freeze. A group of Xeraxians was moving through the forest, their blue skin almost glowing in the morning light, their 4 arms holding weapons she had never seen before. But it was their leader who caught her attention. She was taller than the others, at least 8 feet, with skin that shimmered with intricate patterns. Instead of the simple armor the soldiers wore, she was dressed in flowing material that seemed to change color with each movement. On her head sat a crown of some strange metal that glowed from within. This had to be their queen. Lisa had heard rumors about her, but had never seen her in person. Queen Zarel, they called her, the mastermind behind the invasion. The most dangerous being in the galaxy according to Earth intelligence. Lisa knew she should stay hidden, but something about the Queen fascinated her. The way she moved with such grace, despite her size. The way the other aliens seemed to both fear and worship her. Suddenly, one of the aliens pointed toward the cave. Lisa ducked back, heart pounding. Had they seen her? She gripped her rifle, knowing it would do little good against so many, but determined to take as many with her as possible if this was her end. The logs covering the entrance were pulled away, and light flooded the small space. Lisa fired her weapon. The blast hit one of the aliens in the shoulder, but did little damage. Before she could fire again, something struck her rifle, knocking it from her hand. She was dragged from the cave and thrown at the feet of the Queen. Lisa looked up, expecting to die. Instead, she found the Queen studying her with 4 large eyes that blinked slowly. "This one has spirit," one of the aliens said in a clicking language that Lisa was surprised she could understand. "Most humans run or beg for mercy. This one fights even when there is no hope." Queen Zorella knelt down, bringing her face close to Lisa's. The Queen's scent was strange, like nothing on Earth, a mix of spices and something metallic. "You are very small human," the Queen said, her voice surprisingly soft, "but your heart beats strong, I can hear it." "What is your name?" Lisa remained silent, glaring up at the alien Queen. She would not cooperate, not even with something as simple as her name. The queen seemed amused by her defiance. "You will tell me eventually," she said. "Everyone does, but I admire your courage. Take her." "To my ship, I wish to study this one myself." Two guards grabbed Lisa by the arms. Their grip was firm but not painful, as they led her through the forest toward a smaller ship hidden in a clearing. Lisa thought about trying to escape, but the guards had 4 arms each and moved with incredible speed. Her chances were non-existent. The inside of the ship was not what she expected. Instead of cold metal, everything seemed to be made of a material that was somewhere between glass and living tissue. The walls pulsed with soft light and the air was warm and sweet-smelling. Lisa was taken to a large room that must have been the Queen's personal quarters. Plants from 100 different worlds grew in containers along the walls. Strange objects that Lisa could not identify floated in the air, changing color slowly. A large platform that looked like a nest made of soft, shimmering material dominated the center of the room. "Leave us," the Queen commanded. The guard seemed hesitant but obeyed. Closing the door behind them, Lisa was alone with the most dangerous being in the galaxy. She backed away until she hit a wall. The Queen watched her with those strange 4 eyes. "You fear me," she said. "This is wise but unnecessary. I will not harm you." "Why should I believe you?" Lisa finally spoke. "Your people have been killing mine for 3 years." The Queen moved to a container and touched one of the plants. It responded by blooming instantly, releasing a gentle glow. "War is complicated," she said. "I did not want this conflict. My scientists said your planet had resources we needed. My generals said your people would never share them. They said humans only understand force. My council voted for invasion. I had no choice." Lisa laughed bitterly. "No choice. You could have asked first. Instead, you came with weapons." Queen Zorel turned to face her. "Would your leaders have believed us? Would they have shared your world's treasures with strangers from the stars? Or would they have tried to capture our ships, steal our technology? Honesty, human, would your kind have done any differently if you had found our world first?" Lisa wanted to argue but could not. The Queen was right. Humans had a long history of taking what they wanted. Earth nations still fought each other over resources even while facing an alien threat. "You are honest," the Queen said with what seemed like approval. "That is rare. This is why I wanted to meet humans myself, not just read reports from my generals." She moved closer to Lisa, who tensed, ready to fight. "I want to understand your kind. Why do you continue fighting when you cannot win? What gives such small, fragile creatures such determination?" Before Lisa could answer, alarms began to sound throughout the ship. The Queen moved quickly to a panel on the wall, touching symbols Lisa could not understand. "Treason," she hissed. "Some of my commanders are attacking my ship." The door burst open and several armed Zeraxians rushed in. They raised their weapons not at Lisa, but at their own queen. "Queen Zorel, you have failed us," one said. "Your weakness for these humans has gone too far. The council has voted. You are no longer fit to command." Lisa watched in shock as the Queen backed away from her own soldiers. She could have run, tried to escape in the confusion, but instead she did something that surprised even herself. She grabbed a weapon from a table nearby and fired at the rebels. The weapon felt strange in Lisa's hands, lighter than human guns, yet somehow more solid. She fired at the rebels, hitting one in the chest. The alien fell back, blue liquid seeping from the wound. The others turned toward Lisa, their 4 eyes wide with surprise. A human defending the Queen. This was unheard of. Queen Zorel used the distraction to grab her own weapon. She moved with incredible speed, firing at the rebels. 2 more fell, but there were too many. They advanced on the Queen, backing her. Into a corner, Lisa knew she should run, save herself. But she kept firing until her weapon made a strange clicking sound. It was empty. One of the rebels knocked the useless gun from her hands and threw her against the wall. Lisa felt pain explode. In her back, she slid to the floor, fighting to stay conscious. Through blurry vision, she saw the rebels surrounding the Queen, their weapons pointed at her heart. "This is the end for you, Zorel," their leader said. "Your obsession with humans has weakened our entire species. The Council will choose a stronger leader, one who will crush Earth without mercy." Lisa watched helplessly as the rebel raised his weapon for the killing blow. But before he could fire, something massive crashed through the wall of the room. A larger Xeraxian ship had rammed into the Queen's vessel, creating a hole large enough for loyal soldiers to pour through. They quickly overwhelmed the rebels. The battle was over in minutes. The rebels were either dead or captured Queen. Sorel stepped over their bodies and approached Lisa, who was still slumped against the wall. The Queen knelt beside her, examining her injuries. "Why did you help me?" she asked, her 4 eyes blinking in confusion. "You could have escaped. You could have. Let them kill me. It would have been better for your people. A new queen would destroy Earth without hesitation." Lisa wasn't sure how to answer. She had acted on instinct. "I don't know," she admitted. "Maybe I just don't like bullies, even alien ones." The Queen made a sound that might have been laughter. "You are a strange creature, Lisa Mason," she said, using Lisa's name for the first time, though Lisa had never told it to her. "My people believe that only strength matters, that the strong should rule and the weak should serve, but you are small and fragile, yet you fought against impossible odds. Perhaps there is something my people can learn from yours after all." The ship shuddered around them. More alarms sounded. "We must leave." The Queen said, "This vessel is too damaged." She helped Lisa to her feet. The human winced in pain but managed to stand. The Queen supported her with 2 of her 4 arms, leading her through corridors filled with smoke and debris. They reached a smaller ship where several loyal guards waited. "Take us to the main fleet," the Queen ordered as they boarded. The small ship detached from the damaged vessel and accelerated away. Lisa watched through a viewing port as the Queen's ship exploded behind them. She turned to find Queen Sorel watching her. The Queen had removed her crown. Her blue skin seemed less bright in the dim light of the escape vessel. She looked tired, vulnerable almost. "You saved my life," the Queen said. "I owe you a debt according to the laws of my people. This means you are now under my protection. No Xeraxian may harm you." "What good is that?" Lisa asked. "When your armies are still destroying my world." The Queen was silent for a long moment. Then she said something that changed everything. "Perhaps it is time to reconsider our approach to Earth. I have seen courage in you that my advisors told me humans did not possess. Perhaps there is more to learn from your kind than resources to take." The small ship docked with a massive vessel, unlike the elegant curves of the Queen's personal ship. This one was clearly built for war. Sharp angles and weapon ports covered its surface. Lisa felt fear return as she was led inside. Guards lined the corridors, all watching her with expressions she could not read. "Queen." Sorel took her to a large chamber where dozens of Xeraxian commanders gathered. Their blue skin varied in shade and pattern. Each wore symbols of rank that glowed against their armor. They fell silent as their Queen entered, many dropping to one knee. "Commanders," the Queen announced, her voice echoing in the large space, "I have called you here to witness something unprecedented." She placed a hand on Lisa's shoulder. "This human saved my life when my own kind tried to kill me. She fought for me, knowing I am her enemy. This has made me question our purpose here." Murmurs spread through the gathered aliens. Some looked angry, others confused. The Queen raised her hand for silence. "I propose a new approach." She continued, "We came to Earth seeking resources. But perhaps what we truly need is not beneath their soil but within their hearts. These humans, their courage, their loyalty, their ability to hope against impossible odds. These are treasures we did not know existed." One commander stepped forward, his skin almost black with age. "My Queen," he said respectfully, "this is madness. One human helps you, and you would change our entire strategy. The Council will never approve." The Queen stood taller, her 4 eyes flashing. "I am still Queen. She said my word is still law. The commanders who rebelled acted without Council approval. I will speak to the Council myself, but first, I will learn more about these humans." She turned to Lisa. "Tell me, human, would your leaders speak with me if I offered peace?" Lisa hesitated. She wanted to say yes, but new Earth governments were fragmented, frightened. Would they listen to the Queen who had brought so much destruction? Or would they try to capture her, use her as leverage? Maybe, she said honestly, some would listen. Others would not trust any offer. The Queen nodded as if this confirmed something. The same as my people, she said, divided even in crisis. She addressed the commanders again. Prepare a small delegation. We will approach Earth leaders under a flag of truce. The commanders dispersed, some clearly unhappy, but none daring to object openly. Queen Zarel led Lisa to a smaller chamber. This will be your quarters, she said. It is not what you are used to, but it should be comfortable. Lisa looked. Around the room was strange, with the same living walls she had seen before, but there were objects that seemed designed for human use. A bed of normal height, a table and chair, several containers that might be food or water. She turned to the Queen. Why are you doing this? Really? The Queen seemed to consider the question. For many cycles I have led my people by strength alone, she said finally. But strength without wisdom leads to destruction. I saw something in you, something my people have lost, the willingness to sacrifice for others without calculation of gain. This interests me. That night Lisa lay on the strange bed, unable to sleep. Her mind raced with questions. Was the Queen sincere about peace? Or was this some trick to lower Earth's defenses? And why had she helped the Queen? Why not let the rebels kill her? Her thoughts were interrupted when the door slid open. Queen Zarel entered alone without guards or weapons. She stood in the doorway for a moment, as if uncertain. Then she spoke. Our sensors detect Earth vessels approaching. Your people are preparing to attack this ship. Lisa sat up. Should I be preparing to die then? The Queen moved further into the room. I have sent messages of peace but received no response. They do not believe me. This is understandable. She hesitated, then said something unexpected. I wish to learn more about humans. Before this conflict escalates again, will you teach me? Lisa was confused. Teach you what? How you live. How you think. Why you fight so hard for each other. The Queen moved closer to the bed. May I? She asked, gesturing to the empty space. Lisa nodded reluctantly, and the Queen sat beside her. The bed creaked under her weight. Lisa could feel heat radiating from the alien's blue skin. Smell that strange, spicy metallic scent on my world. The Queen said we do not sleep near others, it makes us vulnerable. But I am told humans often rest together. Is this true? Sometimes, Lisa said. Those who trust each other. Family, close friends, trust. The Queen repeated the word as if tasting it. My advisors tell me humans cannot be trusted, that your kind says one thing and does another. Is this true? Sometimes, Lisa admitted, but not always. We try to keep our promises to those we care about. Care about the Queen seemed fascinated by this concept. On my world, caring is seen as weakness. We respect strength only. They talked through the night. Lisa explaining human concepts that the Queen found foreign: love, friendship, sacrifice. The Queen listening, with all four eyes focused intently, sometimes asking questions that seemed naive, sometimes showing surprising insight. As dawn approached, Lisa found herself growing comfortable with the alien ruler. Despite everything the Zeraxians had done, despite the deaths and destruction, she began to see the Queen as an individual, separate from her species' actions. The Queen must have sensed this change. When our people meet tomorrow, she said, will you stand with me? Show them. I mean, no harm. Why would they? Believe me, Lisa asked, I am just one soldier. The Queen reached out one of her smaller hands, hovering near Lisa's face, not quite touching. Because you helped me when you could have let me die. This speaks louder than any words. Lisa nodded slowly. Maybe. This was a chance for peace, however small. I will, she agreed. But if this is some trick, it is not, the Queen said. I swear by the stars that birthed my kind. This is no deception. When the Queen left, Lisa finally slept. Despite everything she felt. Something she had not felt in years, hope. Lisa woke to the sound of alarms. She jumped from the bed. Heart racing. Was the ship under attack? Had Earth forces arrived? She ran to the door, but it would not open. She was locked in. Was this the trick she had feared all along? Had the Queen imprisoned her while preparing for battle? Just as panic began to rise, the door slid open. Queen Zarel stood there, her blue skin almost pale, her four eyes blinking rapidly. "Your leaders have agreed to meet," she said, "but not here. They want neutral ground. They do not trust my ship." "That makes sense," Lisa said. "Where then? An old space station in orbit around your moon. It was abandoned before our arrival. Neither side controls it now." The Queen held out something that looked like clothing. "Will you wear this? It will protect you in space." Lisa took the garment. It felt like silk but stronger. The Queen helped her put it on, explaining how it worked. It molded itself to her body, keeping her warm, yet allowing her skin to breathe. The alien technology was impressive. When they were ready, the Queen led her to a small ship. Only 4 guards accompanied them, all wearing ceremonial armor rather than battle gear. Lisa noticed they entered Earth's atmosphere, the ship shaking slightly as it adjusted to the pressure. Lisa looked through the viewing port, seeing Earth from space for the first time. The blue oceans, the green and brown land, the white clouds. It looked so peaceful from up here. Nothing like the war zone it had become. The Queen stood beside her, watching her reaction. "Your world is beautiful," she said. "Much like my homeworld was before," was Lisa asked. The Queen nodded. "Many cycles ago, our planet began to die. Our scientists said it was our own doing. Our weapons, our industry. They warned us. But our leaders did not listen. When they finally did, it was too late. We became wanderers seeking new homes." "Is that why you came to Earth?" Lisa asked. "To replace your home." "One reason," the Queen admitted, "but not the only one." She turned away, looking out at the stars. Our society was failing. Not just our planet. Our people had become cold, caring only for strength, power, dominance. We lost something important. Something I see in humans. They docked with the space station. An old structure from the early days of Earth's space exploration. Now repurposed for this historic meeting, human soldiers lined one corridor, Zeraxian guards the other. Both sides, tense, weapons ready, despite the peace talks. The meeting chamber was circular with a table in the center. Earth leaders sat on one side, generals, admirals, politicians. Lisa recognized some from news broadcasts. They looked tired, wary. The Zeraxian commanders sat opposite, clearly uncomfortable with the human custom of sitting at a table. Queen Zarel took her place at the head of the table. She wore her full regalia, crown, glowing metal armor that seemed alive. A show of strength, Lisa realized, for her own people as much as for the humans. The Queen gestured for Lisa to sit beside her. This surprised everyone, humans and aliens alike. A soldier, not a leader, given such a position of honor. "I have asked this human to join us," Queen Zarel announced. "Her name is Lisa Mason. She saved my life at great risk to her own. She has shown me aspects of humanity that my advisors failed to report. Her presence reminds us that this meeting is not just about 2 species, but about individuals who can choose a different path." One of the Earth generals leaned forward. General Kate Wilson, commander of Earth Defense Force Western Division. Lisa recognized her. A tough leader respected for her strategic mind. "Why should we trust anything you say?" General Wilson asked the Queen. "Your forces have destroyed our cities, killed millions, and now suddenly you want peace. What changed?" The Queen did not seem offended by the direct question. "I have led my people through 17 planetary conflicts," she said. "We have always taken what we needed without concern for the inhabitants. But Earth is different. Your people continue to fight when others would have surrendered. You show courage, loyalty to each other even in defeat. These qualities have become rare among my kind." She gestured to Lisa. "This soldier could have let my enemies kill me. It would have been better for Earth. Yet she helped me. Why this question has consumed me. The answer, I believe, is that humans understand something my people have forgotten. That strength comes in many forms, not just weapons and conquest, but cooperation, compassion. One of the Xyraxian commanders made a harsh clicking sound, clearly disagreeing. The Queen silenced him with a look. I propose an alliance, she continued. Not surrender. Your people keep your planet, your independence. In exchange, we share technology. Help repair the damage we have caused. We have medical knowledge that could benefit humans. We can teach you to heal your world. Lisa. Watched the human leaders. Their faces showed skepticism, disbelief, but also something else. Hope. The same feeling she had experienced. The night before, impossible as it seemed, could there really be peace? The talks continued for hours. Details were discussed, argued over, each side suspicious of the other. Lisa spoke when asked, describing her experiences with the Queen, how she had been treated. Her conversations with Zurel. The human leaders listened, some nodding, others frowning. When they took a break, Lisa found herself alone with General Wilson. The older woman studied her carefully. Do you believe her? General Wilson asked. The Queen, is this genuine or some new strategy? Lisa considered the question. I do, she said finally. At first I didn't trust anything she said, but something changed her. She seemed sincere. And they could have destroyed Earth already if that was their goal. Why bother with talks? General Wilson nodded slowly. My thoughts exactly, which is why we're even having this meeting, but the president is nervous. Wants guarantees. What kind? Lisa asked. The general looked uncomfortable, a gesture of good faith. She wants some of their technology transferred immediately before any agreement is signed, and she wants you to stay with them. As our observer, Lisa understood she would be a hostage in all but name. If the Xyraxians betrayed the agreement, Earth would lose one soldier. If humans betrayed it, the Queen would lose face, but nothing more. The arrangement favored Earth. When the meeting reconvened, these terms were presented. Lisa expected the Queen to refuse. Instead, Zurel agreed immediately to the technology transfer and to keeping Lisa with her. Her commanders protested loudly in their clicking language, but the Queen silenced them with a gesture. This human saved my life, she said. She has earned my trust. If her presence gives your leaders comfort, then she will stay with me. The preliminary agreement was signed. A formal treaty would follow, requiring approval from Earth governments and the Xyraxian High Council. But this was a start, a fragile beginning. As they prepared to leave, General Wilson pulled Lisa aside. You don't have to do this, she said. We can find another way. Lisa shook her head. I want to stay, she said, surprising herself. I think I can help. Make sure this peace works. The general studied her face, then nodded. Be careful, she said, and remember, your first duty is to Earth. The return to the Xyraxian ship was quiet. Lisa sensed tension among the Queen's guards. The commanders were clearly unhappy with the agreement. They spoke in hushed tones, stopping whenever she came near. That night the Queen came to Lisa's quarters again. She seemed troubled. Her blue skin had lost some of its luster, her movements less graceful. My council is divided, she admitted. Some see wisdom in peace. Others call for my replacement, they say. I have grown weak, influenced by humans. She sat on the bed beside Lisa. This alliance may cost me my crown. I'm sorry, Lisa said, not knowing what else to say. The Queen made a gesture with her upper hands, something like a shrug. A crown is just metal, she said. What matters is the future of my people. We have been conquerors for so long, we have forgotten how to be anything else. Perhaps it is time to remember. They sat in silence for a while. Then the Queen said something unexpected. In my culture, when two beings trust each other completely, they sleep side by side. It makes both vulnerable, shows total faith. Would you allow this? It would strengthen my position. My guards would report it. My people would know I truly believe in this alliance. Lisa hesitated. The request was strange, but she understood the political value. If the Queen's people saw their leader trusted a human enough to sleep beside her, it would make the peace seem more real. She nodded slowly. The Queen lay down on the bed, her large form taking up most of the space. Lisa carefully positioned herself at the edge, feeling awkward. The heat from the alien's body was intense, not uncomfortable but different. She could hear strange rhythms from within the Queen's chest. Not quite a heartbeat, but similar. "We will make history, you and I," the Queen whispered in the darkness. "The first of our kinds to truly trust each other. A small beginning, but beginnings are always small." Lisa thought about Earth, about the destruction, the loss, but also about the possibility of peace technology that could heal worlds, new knowledge, new ways of thinking. Perhaps it was worth the risk. Beside her, the alien Queen began to make a soft humming sound. She was asleep. Lisa realized. Vulnerable, trusting. A creature from another world who had been her enemy now lay peacefully at her side. The strangest thing was how quickly it had begun to feel normal. Lisa closed her eyes and for the first time in years slept without fear of attack, without the weight of war pressing down on her dreams. She did not know what the future would bring, but tonight at least there was peace. Weeks passed. The peace treaty moved forward slowly. Both sides suspicious, both sides cautious. Lisa remained on the Queen's ship, serving as a bridge between species. Her presence seemed to reassure Earth leaders that the Queen was sincere. While the HFY sight of a human sleeping peacefully beside their Queen each night convinced many Xeraxians that humans could be trusted, not all were convinced. A faction of Xeraxian commanders continued to oppose the alliance. They saw it as weakness, a betrayal of their conquering nature. They whispered among themselves, plotting. Their numbers grew as the treaty negotiations dragged on. Lisa learned more about Xeraxian culture each day. Their language, their customs, their history. It was a society built on strength, but with an unexpected appreciation for beauty. Their art was stunning geometric patterns that seemed to move when viewed from different angles. Their music used sounds beyond human hearing, creating harmonies that Lisa could feel, but not fully hear. The Queen taught her these things, explaining patiently. The more Lisa learned, the more she understood why Zorel wanted peace. The Xeraxians had been nomads for too long, taking rather than creating, conquering rather than building. They needed to remember who they had been before desperation drove them to become warriors. One night, as they lay side by side, the Queen asked Lisa about her family. Lisa hesitated, then told her story. "My parents died in the first wave of attacks," she said. "They were scientists working on clean energy. My sister Kelly survived. She joined Earth Defense Force before me. She died in the Battle of Old Chicago 2 years ago. I have no one left." The Queen was silent for a long moment. Then she said something surprising. "I have no one either." "But you're the Queen," Lisa said, confused. "Queens are chosen for genetic strength, not born to the position," Zorel explained. "We are raised alone, taught to rely on no one, to need no one. Attachment is seen as weakness. I have advisors, guards, servants, but no family, no friends. Just duty." Lisa felt unexpected sympathy. The mighty alien Queen was lonely, just as she was. Perhaps that was why they had formed this strange bond. Two orphans of war finding something like friendship across the stars. The next day, everything changed. A group of rebel commanders seized control of the ship's weapon systems. They fired on an Earth defense base, destroying it completely, breaking the fragile ceasefire. Lisa was with the Queen. When the news came, Zorel shook with rage. Her blue skin darkened almost to black. Her 4 eyes blazed. "Who gave this order?" she demanded. "Who dared?" One of her loyal guards reported Commander Vex and his followers. "They claim to act in the true interests of our species. They say you have been compromised by human influence." The Queen moved quickly, gathering her loyal forces. Lisa followed, not sure what she could do, but unwilling to stay behind. They rushed to the command center. Fighting had already broken out between loyal guards and rebels. The air filled with energy blasts and the harsh clicking sounds of Xeraxian battle cries. In the chaos, Lisa spotted Commander Vex, a tall Xeraxian with battle scars covering his blue skin. He was directing the rebels, ordering them to target Earth cities. "Next the human capitals," he shouted. "Show them true Xeraxian power." Lisa did not think. She grabbed a fallen weapon and fired. Vex saw her at the last second. His 4 eyes widened in surprise as the blast struck him. The rebel commander fell. Lisa stood over him, weapon ready, but Vex was already dead. The rebels, seeing their leader fall, began to surrender. The Queen restored order quickly, but the damage was done. Earth leaders were furious. They believed the attack had been authorized by the Queen, that the peace talks had been a trick all along. They demanded immediate withdrawal of all Zeraxian forces. Lisa tried to explain what had happened, that it was a rebel faction, not the Queen's orders. But trust once broken was hard to rebuild. General Wilson was the only one who still believed her. The others called her a traitor, claimed she had been brainwashed. The peace treaty collapsed. Earth forces prepared for renewed war. The Zeraxian High Council ordered the Queen to return home to face judgment for her failed policy. Some called for her execution. Lisa found the Queen in her quarters preparing to leave. Zorel looked defeated. Her once proud posture now slumped, her crown sitting unused on a table. So it ends, the Queen said. All because of pride and fear. The eternal enemies of peace. It doesn't have to end. Lisa insisted, we can try again. Explain what happened. The Queen shook her head. It is too late. My people smell weakness. Fear it above all things. They will not follow me now. And your leaders will not trust any Zeraxian after this betrayal. What will you do? Lisa asked. Return home. Face the council. Zorel said, my life is likely forfeit. But I accept this. It is the price of failure. Lisa made a decision then. One that would change everything. I will go with you, she said. The Queen stared at her, all four eyes blinking in surprise. You would leave your world, your people, for what? Not for what, Lisa said. For who? For you. She stepped closer, to the alien Queen. You showed me a different path, a possibility beyond endless war. I believe in that still. The Queen reached out, touching Lisa's face gently with one of her smaller hands. They would call you traitor. They already do, Lisa said with a sad smile. At least this way I might help your council understand humans better. Continue what we started. The journey to the Zeraxian homeworld took several weeks. Earth and Zeraxian forces resumed hostilities, though not with the same intensity. As before, the Queen's faction still controlled many ships, and they held back, waiting to see what the council would decide. Lisa spent the time learning everything she could about Zeraxian politics, culture, language. She would need all this knowledge to survive in an alien world. The Queen taught her, patiently explaining the complex social hierarchies, the unspoken rules that governed interaction. The Zeraxian homeworld was not what Lisa expected. Instead of a planet, it was a massive space station. Artificial rings, spinning around a central core large enough to house millions. Each ring creating its own gravity, its own ecosystem. It was beautiful, in a stark industrial way. The legacy of a species that had lost its planet, but refused to die. The Queen's ship docked at the central ring. Guards were waiting, but not to honor their Queen. To arrest her, Lisa stood beside Zorel as the guards approached. The Queen straightened her posture, regaining some of her former majesty. She placed her crown on her head one last time. I go willingly, she told the guards. But this human is under my protection. By ancient law, none may harm one who has saved a Queen's life. The guards looked uncertain. They had clearly been ordered to arrest the Queen, but no. One had mentioned a human. They consulted among themselves, finally agreeing to bring Lisa along. The council chamber was enormous, a circular room with high ceilings. Hundreds of Zeraxians filled tiered seating surrounding a central platform. This was where the Queen was led, Lisa following close behind. Murmurs spread through the crowd at the sight of a human. Many had never seen one in person, only in battle footage. 12 elder Zeraxians sat on elevated thrones, their skin patterns more complex, their eyes showing great age. The head counselor spoke, his voice echoing in the large chamber. Queen Zorel, you stand accused of weakness, failing to secure Earth resources, allowing a rebellion within your fleet. How do you answer? The Queen stood. Proud, I answer that strength takes many forms, she said. Conquest is one, peace is another. I sought what was best for our people. A new beginning, not another temporary victory. The council seemed unimpressed. The head counselor gestured to Lisa and, "This human. Why is it here?" "She saved my life when my own commanders tried to kill me," the queen said. "She fought for me against her own interests. This shows a kind of strength our people have forgotten." One of the counselors leaned forward, curious. "You brought an enemy here to defend you, not an enemy." Zarel said, "A friend." The word caused an uproar. Zeraxians did not have friends. They had allies, servants, rivals, enemies, but not friends. The concept was foreign to them. Almost taboo. Lisa stepped forward, speaking in careful Zeraxian, the language she had been practicing. "For 3 years our worlds have fought," she said. "Millions have died on both sides. For what resources? Power. My people continue to fight yours, though we are outmatched. Your people continue to face resistance, though you are stronger. Neither side can truly win. Only survive." She looked around the chamber, seeing confusion, skepticism, curiosity. The queen offered another way, she continued. "A sharing of knowledge, an alliance that benefits both species. Is this not stronger than endless war? War that weakens both our kinds?" The council conferred among themselves, whispering in their clicking language. Finally, the head counselor spoke again. "You speak well for a human. But words are easy. Actions matter." Queen Zarel failed. Her peace collapsed, her fleet divided. Before Lisa could respond, the chamber's doors burst open. A group of Zeraxian commanders entered, led by a female nearly as tall as the queen. Her skin patterns marked her as a royal candidate next in line for the crown if Zarel fell. The newcomer approached the platform, bowing to the council. "I am Commander Nixara," she announced. "I bring news. Earth forces have launched a massive attack. They target this station. They know our queen is here. They seek to end our leadership." Panic spread through the chamber. Zeraxians might be warriors, but an attack on their home, their last refuge, was their greatest fear. Lisa looked at the queen, seeing suspicion in her 4 eyes. "Is this true?" Zarel asked Lisa. "Would your people attack here?" Queen Zarel placed her crown on the council table. Its metal gleamed under the chamber's lights, seeming to pulse with its own energy. "I propose a new form of leadership," she said. "Not one queen, but a council of both species, humans and Zeraxians, working together, learning from each other." The council members looked at each other in shock. This was unthinkable. Sharing power with humans, the very idea went against centuries of Zeraxian tradition. The head counselor found his voice. "You would give these humans access to our technology, our remaining resources." The queen stood firm. "They would give us access to their world, their creativity, their capacity for growth. We need each other, more than either side will admit." She gestured around the station. "Our numbers dwindle each generation. We have conquered but not thrived, taken but not built. Humans, despite their fragile bodies, have something we have lost." Hope Lisa watched the council members. Their expressions were hard to read, but she sensed their conflict. Pride battled with practicality, tradition with survival. 12 hours, the queen reminded them. That is how long we have before Earth forces arrive to destroy or to talk. The choice is ours. Commander Nixara stepped forward. "Unexpected ally, I have studied humans in battle," she said. "They fight beyond reason, beyond sense. They protect each other at cost to themselves. It makes no logical sense yet." They continue. "I believe Queen Zarel is right. They have something we need. And we have technology resources they need. An alliance would benefit both." The council withdrew to deliberate. Lisa and the queen waited outside the chamber, neither speaking, both understanding the weight of this moment. Everything would change regardless of the decision, for better or worse. When they were called back, the head counselor looked solemn. "We have decided," he announced. "Queen Zarel will abdicate as planned, but we accept the proposal for a joint council. 4 Zeraxians, 4 humans equal, voice equal power. We will contact Earth leaders with this offer." Lisa felt hope rise within her. But there was still one problem. The Earth fleet. They would arrive before any agreement could be reached. The general had promised 12 hours, but military operations once in motion were hard to stop. We need more time, she told the Queen. We need to show Earth leaders this is real, that you are serious. The Queen considered, then made a bold decision. I will go to meet the Earth fleet, she said in a single ship, unarmed. I will offer myself as guarantee of our good faith. If they destroy me, so be it. But it will show my commitment to peace. Lisa shook her head. No. I'll go with you. We go together. The Queen touched her face gently with one of her smaller hands. You would risk your life again. For me. For peace, Lisa nodded. This is too important to fail. They took the Queen's personal vessel, a small ship capable of fast travel, but with minimal defenses. Commander Nixara would follow with diplomatic ships, bringing counselors to formalize the agreement. If they lived that long, the Earth fleet was massive. Hundreds of ships in attack formation. The Queen's vessel would be like a moth flying toward a flame. Lisa sent continuous messages identifying themselves, requesting communication with General Wilson. For long minutes there was no response. The fleet continued its approach, weapon systems glowing, ready to fire. Lisa felt fear not for herself, but for what would happen if they failed. Millions would die, on both sides. A war that might never end. Then finally the communications array lit up. General Wilson's face appeared. Mason, she said. What are you doing on that ship? Trying to stop a war. Lisa replied. The Queen is with me. Unarmed. She offers herself, as guarantee of Xeraxian good faith. Their council has agreed to a joint leadership, a true alliance, equal partners. The general looked skeptical. Sounds too good to be true. Sometimes the impossible happens. Lisa said, remember what you told me when I joined Earth Defense Force. That sometimes one person in the right place can change everything. I think we're in that place. Now. Wilson was silent for a long moment. Her eyes flicked to something off-screen. Then she nodded. Approach coordinates being sent, she said. No tricks, Mason, or well-open fire. Their small ship moved toward the Earth flagship. Lisa felt the Queen's tension. They were completely vulnerable. If this was a trap, they would die instantly. The Queen must have had the same thought. If they destroy us, she said. Do you regret coming with me? No, Lisa replied, surprised to find she meant it. Whatever happens, we tried. We showed another way. Is possible. The docking procedure seemed to take forever. Finally, they were aboard the Earth flagship. Armed soldiers surrounded them. Weapons trained on the Queen. Lisa stood protectively at her side. General Wilson approached her, expression guarded. So this is the famous Queen Zarel, she said, looking up at the tall alien. The one who brought war to Earth. Former Queen Zarel corrected. I have abdicated in favor of the Joint Council. Wilson raised an eyebrow. That was fast. The council will arrive shortly, the Queen explained, to formalize the agreement. But I came ahead to show good faith. The general studied her. For a long moment no one spoke. Then Wilson holstered her weapon. A small gesture but meaningful. I lost my husband in the first wave, she said. My daughter in the second. I have every reason to hate your kind. I understand. The Queen said, my people have lost much as well. Our home, our way of life. It does not excuse what we have done, but perhaps it explains it. General Wilson looked at Lisa, then back to the Queen. The President has authorized me to hear your proposal. I make no promises, was a beginning. Over the next hours, the Xeraxian diplomatic ships arrived. Counselors from both species met, argued, compromised. The Joint Council took shape. 4 humans, 4 Xeraxians with rotating leadership resources would be shared. Technology. Exchanged Earth would remain independent, but would help the Xeraxians build a new permanent home in exchange for advanced knowledge. It was not perfect, Both sides made compromises. Both sides harbored doubts. But it was peace. Real lasting peace weeks. Later, Lisa stood with the former queen, now Council Elder Zarelli, on the observation deck of the Zeraxian station. They watched as human engineers worked alongside Zeraxian builders constructing new habitats. The first joint project, symbolic of their new relationship. It seems impossible, Lisa said. That so much could change so quickly. From war to this. Not so quickly, Zarel corrected. It began the moment you helped me instead of letting me die. That small choice changed everything. Lisa smiled. Small beginning, she said. The former queen nodded, looking out at the stars. Do you miss Earth? She asked. Sometimes, Lisa admitted. But I'm needed here. I understand both sides. I can help build bridges. She looked up at the tall blue alien. Besides, I made a promise to stand by you. Zarel made the clicking sound that Lisa now recognized as laughter. Strange that a promise between former enemies would lead to this, to peace between worlds. Not so strange, Lisa said. That's what makes humans special. Keep our promises to those we care about. The alien queen, now just Zarel, former ruler of a warrior species, reached out her hand. Lisa took it. Their fingers intertwined, one blue, with 4 digits, one pink with 5. Different in every way, yet finding common ground. Beyond them, Earth hung in space, blue and beautiful, no longer a target, but a partner. The future was uncertain. Many on both sides still doubted. Many obstacles remained, but for now, in this moment, there was hope. Zarel spoke softly, using a human phrase she had learned from Lisa. Sometimes the impossible just takes a little longer. Lisa nodded. That night they slept side by side as they had since that first strange evening. Human and alien former enemies, now something else entirely. Not quite friends, not quite family, but something new. Something without a name in either language. They slept peacefully, without guards, without weapons. 2 beings from different worlds who had found trust across the stars. Their breathing synchronized. One slow and deep, one quick and light. Different rhythms finding harmony. In the morning they would face new challenges. The work of peace was never easy, never finished. But tonight they rested together. A small miracle in a vast universe. A beginning.